Live,
Oh, wait.
and we should be live.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Strands and my wonderful party members and players. This is episode 5 of Strands, in which you see a bunch of us nerdy friends get together and we pretend to be other people as we play Dungeons and Dragons and carry out a wonderful storyline crafted by my wonderful, main characters and then me on the sideline. I'm your humble and honored guest as DM Callan McHale. You can find me at Callan McHale on Twitter. And Carl, I'll pass it over to you so that you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Carl. You can find me on the Twitter as Carl from the Net or in chat as Silvertree. And tonight I'll be playing Teleps Verdariana, the Wood Elf Noble Rogue. And I'll go to Matt.
Who was muted?
Thank you. I am Matt. I have only middling experience with technology, it looks like, but you can find me on Twitter at MatthewKenRBM for what that is worth. And I am playing Miles and Sendiar Merriweather Redmond today. And I'll pass it over to Casey.
Hello, my name is Casey, and I can be found in places doing things, and I'm playing a dragon lady. Over to you, Callan.
Ooh, exciting. So you've been found in places doing things. And that is correct. So welcome back to Strands. And like I said, it's episode 5. So to recap, for those who are just tuning in for us, the fourth session of Strands left our characters. They had been just starting to travel down the long, cold road of going to Goalsport, which you're going to try to get to the crossroads first. And in the meantime, they were trying to struggle to figure out what they were going to do and how they were going to get there and try to stay warm at the same time, which was quite a struggle as the winter blizzard started to pick up and started to cause levels of exhaustion and freeze them over. They ended up coming to a wonderful, lovely house of a man and wife farmer that were very nice to take them in. They did a wonderful job of taking them in, getting to talk to each other.
You called me crazy.
They did. They did a little bit crazy. There was a little bit crazy with the dragon lady. So they kind of got to know the party a little bit. They thought, obviously that the party had some kind of drinking problems or some kind of cold fever from all the crazy things that the party looked like and said and did. And then after some good character development discussions, they slept the night, woke up the next morning, and Crises, which was played by Lily, and Casey, which is playing Vitruscaith, both came up with a really dastardly and good plan to get something to warm themselves up. So they staged a fake attack on the cattle from some bear of some sort, and then convinced everybody to run outside while Vitruscaith did a wonderful job of posing as the husband and lovingly kissing the wife as they took a warm heating orb to heat the party up a little bit more and so heating orb lets the characters kind of warm themselves up and prevent the cold weathers. Other than that, they kind of, like I said, a lot of character development in the last game, so we're looking forward to seeing how it turns out as they are now making their way closer to the crossroads to try to figure out what's going on with the twins and in Goalsport and why they are still stuck in this wonderfully horrid frozen winterland 2,000 to 4,000 miles north of where they started 4 weeks ago. So if we're ready, is everybody ready to begin?
There is some business to attend to.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Carl. Go ahead.
Before we get into the game, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Campaign Coins. They are wonderful people who make wonderful RPG accessories, coins, as well as others. You can find them at campaigncoins.com and on Twitter at campaigncoins. If you're enjoying the beautiful faces you see arrayed before you, or less so that and more want to be part of a tabletop role-playing community, you can check us out on the Discord, where folks talk about D&D and non-D&D things.
And lastly, people.
If you want to be up to date on the latest goings-ons of this channel, when new shows are being aired, or when current shows are going live. Subscribe to us on Twitter, or follow us on Twitter, because that's how you do things on Twitter. That is open for adventure on the Twitters. And that's all I got.
All right, so let's begin then. So we pan back into the wonderful tavern where the bard's telling his story, and he gets in and says, welcome, my friends, again to another Wednesday. Good. It's good. Good week to start this next story. Sorry we were out last week, but sometimes I've got to take a recovery. So grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a seat, and tune in as we talk about this next tale on the Strands. And I'm out again.
Come back to us, Caleb. Come back.
I'm back. Am I back?
You're
okay. So, where did I leave off then? I guess because I realized about 30 seconds and I was talking to myself.
You were right there. You're to finish the bard's intro.
Okay, so great. So he begins to cast thaumaturgy and prestidigitation as he paints this wonderful long road. You guys are standing in what looks like a torrential blizzard. The flurries are coming down. It's hard to see even past your face as it starts to get darker and darker. It's been most of the day as you rode off into the evening, and the cold weather starts to set in, and you have to find some spot to peer off. So you guys peer off a little bit off the road just to get out of the way, but there doesn't seem to be much coverage or foliage that you could see from the distance. And being so cold, you kind of just decide to take a seat in the cart where you guys can at least stay warm. And the four of you are kind of getting warmed up together in this colder weather. Who's taking first watch and second watch? Crisis is going to take third watch, I think. So,
as I think we have discussed previously, is that the elves can take 2 watches. Miss Beatrice, do you have a preference of first or beginning or end?
Nope, don't care.
All right, that would take the first watch.
okay, you got to take the first watch. Teleps, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
That is right. Rolling dice is a thing that happens in this game. It would help if I had the thing that would allow you to do that. Perception. I have my little Fletch there with me. Perhaps he can assist with keeping watch. It probably won't help very much. My passive is a 16, but my roll was an 11.
Okay, so through just your passive perception, you seem to be fine. There doesn't seem to be much going on, but it's also because there's so much snow coming down now, colder weather. You hear Crises kind of mumbling in the corner as they're trying to fall asleep, and they say, I'm just so damn cold. I'm just so friggin' cold. And they're huddled up next to Vitruscaith, who is cordially zonked out in the meditation that they're doing. And then it's your watch kind of passes through, and you've got to go wake up Vitruscaith. Vitruscaith, go ahead and give me a roll for your evening watch.
16.
16. Okay. You seem to see no issues. Like I said, it's still very heavily cold, and you're kind of cuddled in the cart, so you're kind of staying warm. You step outside a little bit just to kind of get around, but you get enough that distance. You're like, yep, nope, this is really cold. I'm going back in.
I'm sitting at the back edge of it, and I'm just staring out into the distance, but I'm not really looking at anything. It's just that brooding, seething hatred in my eyes at nothing.
Okay. All right. And then the watch passes off to Crises as you guys both kind of go to finish off your trances. The watch passes off to Crises. That's a Freudian slip. Let's see. And Crises rolls. Oh, well, that's nice. Okay. So, all right. So you guys start to wake up, and the first thing you notice is Crises is no longer there. The heating orb sitting there, and there seems to be no event of anything going on, but there is a note underneath the orb.
I will pick up both objects.
Okay, you pick up the
read
orb.
That note.
You start to get a little warmer, and you go to read the note. And Crises leaves a note. It says, "I saw something in the distance that calls to me. have to search for what it is. It may have something to do with my memories. Boss, I'll be back. That's all it says.
Does it look like their handwriting?
It does look like their handwriting, yes.
I didn't know they carried an inkwell on them. Where did they get this ink?
That's a good question.
Slightly brownish.
Right. Yep. So that's what's going on. So it's coming down heavily, super cold. You're starting to warm up, Vitriscaith, but the two of you start to rouse up and kind of come out of your trances and slumber as you start to decide to make your way to the caravan.
Before we leave or anything, I'm going to be obviously looking around for any signs in which Crises went.
You don't see anything. Crises, you can gather just from intelligence that Crises must have left pretty early in the watch because they had enough time to scribble this note down, set it under the orb, and then also they have no tracks. So the snow must have already covered the tracks to a degree. So you don't know which way they went, but you do know that they must have strode off in the distance in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't look like there's anything else that has disturbed the cart or damaged anything. When you kind of make your way out into the snow a little bit, just about 40-50 feet, just to kind of try to find something, you don't see any really disturbances in the snow from that distance either. Nothing huge or big that kind of bothered it. It must have been either a person or something that was kind of calling out to them.
I crush the note in one of my hands and throw it over my shoulder. And as I stare out into the blizzardy wilderness, I'll just say that was not your choice to make.
Tense. Okay. So anybody who's going to be driving the cart? Because I know Crises is normally driving. So Teleps, I'm assuming. Maybe
I just woke up and seen Vitriscaith staring into the middle distance, really mad, and crumple up a note. So, what's the word?
It's right there if you would like to read it.
I will pick up the note and read it.
Okay. So you read that Crises is basically left on some calling of some sort.
Where did they get a pen? Or
Where did they get ink? Where did they get this paper?
Right? The world is full of mysteries, though Teleps is known to carry various writing instruments for various love letters he's written to folks to a gal over the months. Are you missing a sheet?
I do not keep inventory of such things. But what has happened to Crises? They were with us, and they are not with us anymore.
Give Teleps the note.
Vitriscaith, you see in the distance as well. There is some kind of shadowy figure standing off just outside of your imagery vision. So you just see this cloaked figure standing in the distance.
I move towards it.
Okay.
I cannot say for certain whether or not this is my paper.
The shadowy figure starts to move towards you as well.
Vitriscaith, where are you going?
There's someone
where are
there.
you going?
There's someone there.
There's someone there.
Maybe it's Crises.
The character is probably 6'6" larger, so it does have the same kind of muscular build that Crises would have, but they are wearing a very dark black cloak, ominous, and it seems to be the similar look to the person that you saw running around the edge of the tavern that disappeared.
My step hesitates for a moment, and I just say, "That's not Crises."
It starts to move slowly. It's still a good distance away from you, but it starts to pick up its pace towards you as you hesitate, as if almost you can sense that it's good, and then it kind of starts to move a little quicker.
I peel my lips peel back, and the fangs come out, and I start dripping venom. If he's coming to attack me, I'm going to be ready for him.
Okay. So he starts to.
How far is Vitriscaith from the wagon at this point?
I didn't
Just
run.
Yeah, about 40
Right.
feet, maybe 40 feet or so. They kind of met in the middle. They're starting to meet kind of almost in the middle, except this character is now walking closer to you guys.
Are they doing like an anime run or?
No, they're not doing an anime run or some showboatmanship of stepping. They look like they're walking as almost if they have a purpose, as if they are approaching Vitruskaith with a goal in mind of some sort.
I get an arrow ready.
Okay.
I walk about 10 feet closer, but then just kind of hang out.
Okay, so that makes you what, about 30 feet? You're saying from Vitruskaith?
I'd say about a walking speed of 30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it would take me about 6 seconds to walk up to Vitruskaith.
Okay, so right, so you guys are this figure does end up approaching you, Vitruskaith, and as it gets closer, you start to see that it has a visage of like what looks like a normal man, like a human man, almost wizardly looking. He's got a short groomed brown beard and or black beard, and it's a goatee, really, I should say. And then they look young-ish, probably in their 30s, for a human man, and he's got a wide grin as he's approaching up to you with like some kind of purpose, but doesn't look. He's
Stop
not
right there.
He stops about 10 feet away from you and pauses and smiles.
Friend or foe?
It depends. What are you?
What do you want?
Many things, everything. But for today, I'm just interested in knowing more about you. Well, the rest of you.
Why?
I'm not sure why either yet. But you know people that I know, and they've taken an interest in you, which makes me take an interest in you.
Which people?
A set of twins that seem to pester me, and I am interested in figuring out why they know you or interested in you. So I've been watching you for a period of time, and I'm decided that you are at least not stupid enough to attack on sight, so I'm approaching to have the conversation.
Well, two of us are.
And he approaches more close to have a conversation with you, within about 5 feet, obviously, nothing too creepily. And he pulls his hood down to reveal long black hair that goes down to probably his chest length. And he looks at you and says, "You can call me Harold," and reaches out his hand to shake your hand. He takes your hand and does a very proper and noble style bow when he takes it, and kisses the tip of your hand and says, "Ah, I see that you are trained in the arts of mannerisms."
I am respectable, if that's what you mean.
I would say you're probably more respected than respectable.
All right.
He smiles and looks over at the two of you, and says, "Teleps, are you going to lower your bow, or are you going to try to strike out?"
Vitruskaith, who's this man?
He claims that his name is Harold, and he has interest in us because the twins do. He says they have a history of, what did you say, pestering him?
That tracks.
Would you care to join us so that you may enlighten us as to what these twins are doing in your life?
Well, they do a great many things in my life, just as they seem to be doing a great many things in many people's lives. I can sit with you for a moment and discuss things before I have more pressing matters to attend to. Many plans and things, and I'm trying to make sure that you're not going to ruin them for me. And he kind of appears over the shoulder at the Genasi and says, "How about you, hot stuff? Are you gonna come over here and have a conversation?"
Does he look at all like Crisis?
Not
Only
even
one
not in
person's
the
ever called me
slightest.
that.
Yep, not in the slightest. But there was a tune, not like a asterisk to how he said it too. He said it in the same
Sure.
style of phrase. Okay.
I'm
And
gonna
as you
glower at him.
as you
That's
get
all.
closer, he smiles and he looks and says, "So I guess the first matter of business is what do the twins have an interest in you for? Why
I
bring
believe
you
I asked
here?"
you that first.
I told you the twins are into everything. That's what they do. They study and learn everything that they can learn about
Specifically,
everything.
how do they pester you?
They
You know what I'm asking for.
right. They hinder some of my grander ideas, and not that they do it on purpose, I imagine, but well, maybe they do it exactly on purpose. It's hard to explain. But they seem to stop me from doing and getting things I want to get or enjoy, and it quite frustrates me. And
For what it's
so,
worth, we're not amazing fans of them either.
do you know who they are? What their names are, or how they presented themselves to you?
They seem to have presented themselves in different ways with different names. However, I do understand that their aura of divination magic is so bright and blinding that they are suns unto themselves.
Well, okay, that's an assessment. How long have you known them?
Technically, less than a day. Officially, months.
Interesting.
What I do know is that they were able to put a charm spell on me, which is nigh impossible.
They look at you. He looks at you and says, "Mm, charm spell. You don't seem to be charmed.
Not anymore.
How does it affect you?"
Well, with having a elven body, one of the originals. What are they? They do moon and sun stuff, I think. As being one of those, physiologically, many charm magics do not take a hold.
Right. Did the same thing. I understand how you could be not charmed. I mean, I could understand how you could be charmed, being that you are what you are. But Teleps, did they charm you as well?
As far as we know, this is the case.
Huh.
We woke up. We were apparently in some sort of avalanche, and when we came to, we slowly recovered the memories of various tasks done over the last 4 weeks that none of us remember initiating ourselves and of our own volition. It seems that the some sort of charm or enchantment was upon us, so that we would do someone's bidding and not be aware of it or conscious of it at the time.
So wait, so you have some memories of what you experienced with them or while with them.
With each other, not with them. That I do not think that I have any memories of them other than when we first met.
So you would say that you remember that they got you here somehow, but you don't remember them being there / have any memories of anybody besides each other.
That is a fair summary.
That explains everything, right? All right. That would explain why you guys don't have much memory about what's going on. So, do you have any other memories? Any other weird things going on? New abilities or new things that you guys are able to do?
Is this part? Are you leading into an explanation, but because you can't just stop there with us.
What do you mean?
Oh, that
It's not-
makes perfect sense why you don't know what's going on. That's what you said.
Yeah, I could stop plenty. I mean, I'm the king of stopping things immediately. But uh, yes, I mean, I guess it's unfortunate that you don't, I guess, have the powers to do this. Modify memory is a thing that people can do if they are high enough in magic, and it seems that they've modified your memory, and I'm interested to figure out what other memories they may have modified or changed. Do you guys remember anything or have knowledges of things you didn't have before?
If we do, it has not dawned upon us yet, I think. Looking at Miles and Teleps.
DM, do I know anything I didn't know before?
No, you don't. Phillips does, though. Phillips has been having a cipher moment, if you recall Phillips. You can share that or not.
It strikes me as if this information, if we did have this information that was not inherent in us prior to the meeting with the twins, that it would be somewhat valuable.
Valuable is a loose term. Everything's valuable to somebody, and some things that are valuable can be useless.
I suppose that this, as you say, can be a valuable or useless thing. We find ourselves in a predicament where we are far from home, and you speak of powerful magics as if you know something about these things. Perhaps we can arrange. I can, if I had some additional information, you may help us expedite our travels back to Crest.
I am, to be fair, the most powerful wizard you probably have ever met and will ever meet. But I maybe will be willing to trade knowledge for knowledge if you know something that I don't. And it seems that you have yet to know anything about the twins or why you're interested in the twins. Where are the twins right now? Do you know where they are?
Again, this seems like things that you wish to know, and we may have information. And if this is a thing of value for you, again, arranging some sort of barter would be, I think, in order. But as for why they are interested in us, it is, I believe, as you say, they are interested in everything. So why would they not be interested in us if they are interested in everything?
They're interested in everything, but some things more than others. I mean, some children are interested in ants, and then they grow up to be more interested in, other girls and boys. And then some goblins are more interested in goblins, and some are more interested in dead goblins. It's how these things work. I guess my question is, what are you searching to barter for then? If you possibly maybe could potentially, I know I have knowledge of many things, and I'm not even positive you have knowledge of anything I'm interested in. This is why I'm concerned about the bartering that you wish to have with me.
Well, if you are, as you say, the most powerful wizard that we have ever met, then clearly it would be of a trifling importance to you, whatever you could divulge or help us with. Our interest, or at least my interest, is returning home to Crest. Each of us have our own particular interests. But what can you do for me to get us closer to my home?
He gives a wickedly large smile, almost unnaturally so, unsettling, and he goes, I can do a great many things if you're willing to make a bargain with me. But be warned, a bargain with a wizard such as I is not a deep bargain, easily broken.
Well, if you know a great many things, you know that I am of the family of Vardariano, and that what sounded like a threat just now would not be looked well upon by my family, and my very wealthy and powerful family.
Good. I hope so.
We should leave.
I hope to see what comes out of that.
So, are you able to get us closer to my goal of getting home? What can you do for me?
What can I do for you when it comes to your travels back home? Well, I can give you a trinket that would prevent death. You're going to have probably a very long trip home, many perils. A man such as yourself, as I recall, you once killed an owl bear after taking many slots in the face, and you were able to kill an actual snowy owl bear, from what I heard in the taverns. So, I would like to say that I can offer you something that would keep you from dying.
In the background, I kind of do a slow circle
Okay.
around to this guy's back.
Okay.
Seems like a very powerful trinket that I would be interested in for sure. However, I would be more interested in expediting the travels rather than making them more survivable. But perhaps this trinket is of interest to one of my colleagues who may also have information that would be of importance to you.
It's possible. I wouldn't really think that your colleagues would be very interested in my trinkets. They know very much about me, and I'd think that they wouldn't be too interested in anything else I have to offer. This is why they pester me so. But as for expediting your travels, I can do a great many things, but I'm so uninterested in making your journey faster. Actually, I kind of hope that it takes longer and you get more frustrated about it. And who knows, you might get upset with and, cause problems with. And you causing problems is not causing me problems. So I'm okay with that.
Elaps, Vitrusgaith, we should leave. He's like any other wizard. He'll talk in circles, has nothing actually useful to say, and when push comes to shove, they're about as useful as a wet piece of paper.
Says the man who casts magic himself. I've seen you dabble.
I think you're
Because
very interesting, and I'm gonna give him a sniff.
Okay.
What's he smell like?
Roll a I guess a nature check.
15.
He smells like the sweetest smell you've ever smelt, and that is of death. Like fresh kill death, like just happened, like blood still coming out of the throat death.
Oh, I think I might be crushing.
And he turns and smiles and says, "Oh, you will in time become useful. I have no doubt about it. Your history has already become so useful to me. I'm worried about the other two, really, is what I'm worried about.
Aren't we all?
Well, I'm not really worried about them.
Come back, Galen.
Time wizard stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's dissociated from the material plane for a moment.
He's back.
Yeah, he comes back, so, and he says, I'm not too worried about you, but I am interested that you can teach them your skills per se. He's a great hunter, but you have done so much more hunting in your life that I'm so much more interested in. And it's true leaders like you that make me proud to walk this world.
Oh, do go on.
So you just keep doing all the wonderful things that you can do. Make the best judgment calls that you make. I've never seen anybody so beautifully violent. And he chuckles and smiles at the two of you and goes, "Well, I mean, if you don't want trinkets to prevent death or, any aid on the twins, I can tell you who the twins truly are if you're interested."
At what cost?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm interested in what abilities you may have or things that you can do that you couldn't do before that the twins have given you. See,
Is
the
there a
twins
way?
know so much more about you than I do, and it bothers me. I need to know more about you and what potential you have.
Is there a way that I could contact you at a later date?
Where are you headed? Goldsport?
Mhm.
Hmm. There's a man that goes by the name of Mao that I know. Tell him that you're looking for Harold. If you want to contact me, he can contact me.
I will do that. If I find out anything in the meantime about what has transpired, I may let you know. So who are they?
Well, you have not told me anything of value. I told you who to talk to if you want to contact me. I mean, you can, if you come to find out something that you've learned in your skills or abilities or been given by them, then I'd be very interested in any direct intervention they've caused.
Well, as pests that they are, wouldn't it behoove you to tell us of their true nature to any extent so that we can continue to help you?
I'll make you a deal in good faith. For some reason, I trust somebody like you. I'll tell you who they are, but you must promise me when you get to Mao that if you uncover or gain any things from them, that you tell Mao what you've gained. Is that a fair trade?
Fine.
Very well. The twins are not of this plane. I've done much research on them, and they are beings. One would say of the heavens, but I wouldn't say heavens either. Some call them gods, but they're not. They are what a manifested version of history and destiny would be. So they are readers of the tapestries of fate, and are very interested in making sure that things are recorded per se. And if they're interested in you, it means that you have some kind of record that is going to be quite unique. Or it's out of place, which bothers me even more.
Fair enough. And I'll do the full circle, come back to his front, and I'll kind of look him up and down and say, so then who does that make you?
I told you, I'm Harold, the Grand Wizard. I'm a very powerful wizard, but I do not, unlike some, I don't like to make myself well known to everybody. Some wizards like to shine in the spotlight. Some like to dabble in things that don't belong to them, and play in schools that they haven't mastered. And even some can. He looks you up and down and says, change things to fit their own foolish reality. I prefer the much more, direct nature to things. There's a truth in the world, and I seek to understand it.
I take half a step closer and I start to raise my hand almost to the point where my talons are like touching his beard. And I'll just say, just Harold.
Just Harold for you today.
Do I believe that? Is that something I can do like an insight thingy on?
Sure, yeah.
I got an 11. Probably not enough.
Okay, so you totally get that there is many names this man might go by, and Harold is the one he's choosing to go by. You can't deem any kind of idea from it of who he is, but you realize he is obviously, just from the way he smells and how he is and how he carries himself, he's probably is truly powerful as a wizard. But you're not sure if he's somebody specific, or and you never heard the name. It's not some kind of loose acronym where you can change the letters around in your head. You're like, okay, this guy's just a powerful dude, and maybe he just doesn't want to tell us his true wizard name or whatever. But you don't recognize him, and he doesn't look like any famous wizard that you know. You would know like 2 or 3 in imagery / history, and he's not any of those.
Very well, Harold. And I will boop his nose. And then I'll turn and look behind me and I say, boys, are we done here?
It would seem so.
He at the booping and the I seem so, he turns around and gives a deep, deep cackle that seems to echo ethereally through the air. That oh, I'm going to enjoy you all. And then he walks off. And then he gets just out of pretty much like snow eyesight. It's almost like just a heavy blizzard comes around him for a second, and he's gone.
He was just delightful.
Seems a bit of a douche to me.
He's a wizard that defines them all.
All right. Hop in. I'm happy to drive the wagon.
Okay, as you guys hop in and start traveling down the road, you travel about 4 hours. It's getting pretty cold again. You guys are at a level of exhaustion just because of the temperature drop that's causing as you're getting more and more out in the open and away from the area. You're still about a day's ride. If you were to stop sometime this evening, you'd be about a day's ride still from what you would think is the crossroads from the distance they've talked about traveling. When you hear basically,
while we are traveling, though, this does come up. I do believe somewhere around here is a man with some exotic animals, Gerald. If you want some exotic pets.
If I recall, we had to go out of our way some distance to meet this man.
Yeah. But, if you haven't ever tried tiger, I mean, new things are always interesting.
Do you want a pet or do you want a dinner?
Yeah. No, I just find it interesting what Radagast knows and shared, and the fact that it happened the same place as Harold. Sounds a lot like Gerald. Wonder if that's him. That's all.
He did not share any exotic meats with us.
Well, Vitrusgaith, you should have asked for something exotic as part of that deal with the names, but
I feel like he might have
Fair
taken that a
enough.
little too far.
perhaps. Yeah, we ride. Ah,
you hear later on about the 4 hour or 5 hour mark. You're riding, and then you hear in the distance, all of you can hear very clearly some loud boom explosion that takes place, as if like the crackle of thunder just ignites to the left side of your caravan, probably a couple 100 feet away, deep in the blizzard snow, right off the left side of the road. And some light kind of flares up in the distance as if you see something.
I react like a cat. My pupils dilate real wide, and I'm just like, huh!
I reel in the horses. Whoa! Should we investigate? I believe there might be people in trouble, and this is part of the code of the roads that we have people in trouble.
I'm gonna kind of poke my head out and see if I can see any additional kabooms or any source where that could have come from.
You see nothing besides the original kaboom.
well, so I dismount and I'm on the left side. So when you say we see the kaboom, is there like snow or smoke in the distance, or like?
No, you just basically saw like it's kind of dark and cloudy all day, right? And then all of a sudden it's just like you heard this loud kaboom, and then you saw this flash of light in the distance that's like, almost like firelight in the distance.
Well, I hop off the cart and I start jogging towards the kaboom.
Okay.
We don't need to go to Leps. We could just keep heading on.
The corner of the road!
Of course. Can't be bothered to do anything exciting in Heaven's Crest, but one crazy woodsman tells him there's a code to the road, and suddenly he throws himself into all sorts of nonsense.
Who are you talking to?
Talking to myself. But you're here, so you get to enjoy my inner thoughts.
Oh, yay. Step off the cart, follow Teleps, but at a much more leisurely pace.
Yeah, I'm trudging begrudgingly. He's probably running on top of the snow, and I'm just plowing through it. Sturdy,
To Leps, you're going to get there much quicker than everybody else does. It's going to take them a few, probably you're probably about a full minute in the snow because of the way you can get through faster ahead of them. So you're probably 100, 200 feet. You get about 400, 500, 600 feet out there, and you see what it looks like a small person in the distance walking around what looks like just a pile of dead bodies, right? And the person's maybe 3-4 feet tall. You can't quite tell from the distance. Maybe it's a small child, and they're meandering through the small bodies. Looks like they're maybe poking things or checking things. Give me an insight check.
Insight. That is, if I find the screen, you probably already see it. Oh, not 20, 24.
Wow, 24. Okay, so you just get lucky enough to see that the motion is not of like a small child looking for somebody in like a lost caravan, but this is something stabbing these bodies. It's not just poking. They're like you see the glint of a dagger as it's stabbing into these bodies, and probably the eye sockets. And it's walking around, and you start to notice that it's not a small child, but you get the insight that it is a small creature of sorts, possibly goblin or maybe goblinoid.
Who's there?
It jumps up and turns around, whipping out what looks like some kind of like a wand of some sort. And it says, "Jesus fucking Christ, what are you doing here? Who the fuck are you?"
I do not know his name. Who are you, though? Why are you poking at these bodies?
I'm trying to fucking bloody kill these things. What are you doing?
I saw the explosion. Did you cause this explosion?
Of course I did.
Why did you kill these people?
I killed these people because they were trying to kill me.
Well, that seems sensible.
It's very sensible. And you've got crazy whites and ghouls and zombies attacking you and your 3 men. Right. Wasted mercenaries. And he starts like going back to stabbing everything in the eye socket.
So do the bodies that are around look like they were undead, or, the things that we wouldn't help, the things that we would try to kill ourselves?
From this distance, it's hard to tell. But if you're going to slowly start approaching, you'll see that, yes, there does look to be some kind of woundage. You can't quite tell with the fireball that went off if it's wounds or if it's wounds caused in the fight. But there does look to be some kind of undead-esque look. If you wish to approach, I can describe more.
I will not approach until my well-armored friend is in front of me.
About this time, they're starting to gain up on you.
What is this?
This fellow, he says he was accosted by the undead, and he took care of them with a big boom.
Wonderful. Things are fine. We can go.
A big boom, mate. It's called a fireball.
But he raises a good question. Are you in need of assistance, or is everything taken care of?
Well, I could
That
use
was
help.
not the question I raised. I said it was fine. We could go.
I could use some help burying these bodies so they don't rise up and try to kill everybody when they come back to life from the magic of the land. And then maybe I could hire you guys to replace the 3 mercenaries that I lost in this fight. Bloody useless mercenaries.
You couldn't afford us.
I beg to differ. As he tosses out like some small compass-looking object into the ground, and it explodes into a cart. And the cart says across the side, "Magnificent wares," right? And to Leps, you see a small symbol in the right corner that says basically the word arcane in that cipher that you recognize. And he begins to like start dragging bodies to like a section where he's going to look like, so he's going to try to start clearing it for burial.
What do you mean, friend? The magic of the land bringing them back? Is that a thing? I am not familiar with this.
Well, yeah, the bloody wastelanders. So if you die out here and you're pissed off when you die, which I'm sure my fucking mercenaries were, then they usually come back as a zombie or maybe even like a wraith or something, and end up terrorizing everybody around here. Right? I mean, it's pretty common knowledge. Where are you from? And he like starts tearing off. By the way, he's like totally looting these bodies while he's doing this.
I join him.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll investigation for me, Casey, to see how many bodies you get.
I only got 12. Wait. Yeah. 12.
Okay. So there's about 8 bodies here, and you get to about 2. And you find what looks like remnants of some battered armor and stuff. But the 2 bodies you do get have about a combination of about 15 gold on them. Aside from their useless armor and damaged weapons at this point.
Not bad.
Miles, help us out, and I will assist with the burying of the bodies.
Oh, Tulips, don't even. Here, and then she just goes like that and like uses mold earth to just dig a pit that's 5 by 5, and it's just so
thank Jesus.
senselessly
Well, I don't know
easy.
what Jesus is, but he says, thank the mountain mother. Goodness gracious, I was hoping I didn't have to dig this all myself. I was hoping if that's the case, I'd give Big Red a shovel over here and he would dig himself, but
My
all right.
name is Vitrascape, and you
As
can
he
thank
says
me.
that, I kick one body into the hole.
He says, I don't have to do nothing fancy. Just 2 copper pieces. And he tosses 2 copper pieces in there on him. He says, they travel the river Styx, so 2 copper pieces. Vitrascape, what's that? And he looks over at his shoulder, basically, which is just his shoulder. And he looks and says, what's with the horns?
I'm dragon.
No, it's not. Bullshit. Who's got that kind of magic? All right. I believe you.
Good.
Then you tossing the bodies in. It's like, you guys get most of the bodies in. He's tossing copper coins down, and after you guys kind of pad the bodies, he goes, "All right, so you seem to be half more useful than the mercenaries were. What do you guys you guys want to help me out? Are you here for the bag?"
I'm sorry, what was the name of his cart again?
Magnificent Wares.
Magnificent Wares. Before we engage in this doing of business, can we have your name, good sir?
Oh, right. My name's Magnifique. Magnifique Fang. And I own this shop, this traveling shop. And I'm trying to sell magic items. So if you're in the search for that, I can help you out with that. But I do it differently than most do.
And what does that mean?
Well, my goblins. So we wizardries, we have a special school in the Sanctum. And referring to the Sanctum of Seven, which is the well-known school in Crest. He says we do it differently in the Sanctum. Creatures like me that are fey, that are of a monstrous nature, is what it is. It's the name of the name, even though I'm not really a monster. We go to a special school where we learn how to use our magics the correct way, which is innate magic. So I like to harvest body parts. There's a lot of magic to be found in rare creatures and beings of magic themselves. Don't worry about you, though. You and your form ain't be useful to me, and the elf is barely fey as it is.
What did you say here for the bag?
Yeah, the bag. The crossroads. You come from the crossroads? The bag quest.
Bag quest.
Yeah, it's like a bag or a box. She was kind of loose on the description, but there's some kind of bag or box that somebody stole from this lady, and she's offering 1,000 gold to get it back.
No, we're headed to Gullsport.
Stunned him. And he's back.
Hey, and he's offering 1,000 gold to get it back.
Doesn't miss a beat.
I say, no, we're headed to Gullsport.
Well, I'm headed there after this, so I can take you there if you want.
If we helped you, what would be our cut?
You can have the 1,000 gold. I don't really care. I'm more interested in what took it.
Which was, you don't know?
No, she said it was a demon.
No. Oh.
Demon pots. If it's a real demon, some of the demon pots are super magical, and I can use them for potions and magical artifacts and such.
Do you know much about this type of creature, this demon?
How big are we talking?
I don't know. She talked about. I didn't really ask. I wasn't really interested in the. If she survived, it wasn't too dangerous. I mean, it was dangerous. I mean, demons are demons, but dangerous enough that I could have to run away, but not dangerous enough that it'd kill me.
But you thought that you'd be safe with these 3 mercenaries?
Yeah, well, it was more they were, had to have some muscle. Plus, if it's big and I have to carry it, I mean, gotta have somebody carry it. You know what it is to hawk half an arm with this? He holds up a dagger.
I do an aside with Miles.
Yeah, one minute. Yeah.
Seems that we're going in the same direction. One other person. It seems like it would be not a terrible inconvenience for us.
I mean, we're broke. Once we get to Gullsport, if you want to get a boat, we can't possibly afford one. There's 1,000 gold.
A name.
What do you?
The family name can open doors. You know how this works, Miles. But
I've seen the family name do wonders in Crest. I haven't seen it elsewhere. And what about you, Black Dragon? 1,000 gold is not 6,000 platinum, but
I don't mind. I like gold too.
frankly, this whole trip has been a real bore, and this is the first fun thing that I've heard since waking up in Radagast's ratty little hut. So
as he's grabbing like stuff out of his cart, he goes, "That's the fucking spirit!" And then he pops on some goggles and turns around, and he's got like, it looks like jewelers kind of goggles on that are obviously arcanely enchanted.
All right, I think we have a deal. I think we are in agreement that this is mutually beneficial.
He flips his goggles, like two flips, a red and then a black lens come up, and he looks at Vitrascape and goes, "Jesus! Oh my goodness, Mountain Mother! You're fucking huge!"
Oh, thank you.
And he flips and he goes, all right, here, you win the bet. All right, fine. You get a piece. That's bullshit. Right. And then he carries on, he pulls the goggles back off and puts them in the cart. All right, then.
Magnifique, if I may ask, is if we are to enter Demon and you are a provisioner of great and powerful wares, is there perhaps a ware in your cart that would help us in this hunt?
I don't sell stuff like that, so probably not. Mine are more the utility nature. Heat and orbs and stuff like that. Got other stuff too, but nothing that you can afford or I'll let you use. But if you help me out, I'll give you a discount.
Well, if you have this like a heating orb, I am quite chilly, and it seems like that would. I mean, it's going to no use where it is now. I would, uh, as a show of good faith, maybe I could hold on to one of these things.
He kind of waddles up to you, and he's got a big heavy robe that kind of covers his whole body almost. And he kind of like, and he walks up to you and stares straight up at you and goes, because he's like he's 3'3", so he looks at you and goes, "Hey, what do you get for me?"
The service is of one of the greatest hunters in all the land.
If you're so great a hunter, then why didn't you even know about the demon?
You said that this is in the crossroads?
Yeah,
We haven't been to the crossroads yet?
but if you're such a great hunter, you should have smelt it already.
You assume
Shit.
that the demon is over here?
She was probably a greater hunter than you were, if that was the case. And he holds up the orb and he says, "Yeah, I'll give it to you for 40 gold.
That is a preposterous price for such a trinket.
They're worth 80.
I am not interested. Vitrus Gates, do you care to barter with this fellow? I know that
Quick,
you are
use your last name. See if that gets you what you want.
Shut
Oh,
up, Miles.
you
Shut up,
already-
You
Miles.
seem
I
to
already
think that
know
was the solve. Listen to this.
He like wanders off as he's like, "I already know he's a Vajrayana. He's got that stupid ass accent, and I'm from Crest myself, so I know how it goes. Always there walking around all sounding all fancy papa-like.
Vitrus Gates, I'm sorry. Did this rude fellow, he says he has this item. I know you are cold sometimes. Do you wish to barter with him?
Oh no, I have one.
Where did you get this?
Arcane, and like back to us. So he waddles back to the cart and pushes the button for the arcane room, and it goes back into a cart, and he puts it in his pocket.
Mr. Magnifique, would you like to introduce us to your friend?
Do you want to be introduced? I don't know. You can trust the dragon. He says it'll trust you if you promise to kill both of them if they try to grab him.
Yeah, okay. Don't grab him.
Don't grab who?
And then a purple fairy dragon pops up on his shoulder, and it kind of like looks up quietly, peeks around like his the goblin ear, and goes, "Yeah, what do you want?"
I am Vitruscape, as you know, and you are?
I'm Trinket.
Can you spell that?
Trinket. Trinket.
Thank you.
And he like crawls down on Vitruscaith and like kind of like hovers above the snow, like almost catwalking. And it walks up to you and kind of sniffs your foot, and he goes, "She smells different." And he's like, she probably smells like magic." "No, different." And it kind of waddles back over to him,
All right, well, Magnifique, have you been tracking this creature already? Do we have a trail that we are on the hunt for?
Grabs his goggles and puts them back on. And he goes, Will, there's some kind of a trail this way, but you got it there, Magic Hunter. You want to lead the way? It's I think it's that way. I'll give you a head start."
I look in the direction, and I get Fletch. I say, Fletch.
And Fletch
All right.
just, running around.
We're on the
He's
job.
very intently staring at Trinket, who is very intently staring at Fetch at this point. And he's like, "Fucking dog."
Fletch, ignore it.
Fletch goes tearing off in the direction that this Magnifique was telling you to go.
We begin to do the hunt.
I just follow Teleps. That's how these things go.
He's mesmerized by my hunting prowess.
It's very, very magnific. I figured out what was going on. And apparently, when you have two Wi-Fi connections, it tries to switch between them. When it loses one, it gets the other one. That's what it's been doing. So it's been trying to drop me from the good one and go to the better one. So I'm trying to. I think I might have fixed that. So, yeah, he Fletch heads off in that direction, and Magnifique starts walking behind you guys. He's pretty good about keeping up for being such a small little guy. So you guys head off in that direction. And you head off for a good while, and Magnifique's got his goggles on, and he's switching through his goggles, and he goes, so what's your story, Torchhead?
Torchhead. That's a new one. What is my story? Teleps, what's my story? What would you say?
What?
It smells like sulfur.
I'm Fire Genasi, don't you know?
No, like real sulfur. Like you smell like real sulfur.
I walk ahead of him, just leave him behind.
The fairy dragon flies over to Vitruscaith and sits on Vitruscaith's shoulder. And kind of sniffs you intently.
I don't really do anything to respond.
Okay.
Just
Sniffs you
regally
intently.
walking along.
So yeah, the goblin following behind you guys. Right. All right then. And he flips his goggles again. And about the second he goes to say, yeah, we're getting close. You hear Fletch go, woo, and give the something's close. And at that point, you also start to hear, because it's very loud. You start to hear like screeches and howls, almost like some kind of like woodland creature. Like you may have seen these in more exotic areas where maybe tulips and the Genasi both seem like a monkey almost. It goes, ooh, 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 and then you hear that, ooh, and then and then you hear like this guttural growl afterwards, and then you start to hear it kind of like getting louder towards you, as if something is responding to the bark.
Are there any shadows I can slip into?
It is very dark here, so you can hide only because there's so much blizzard going on around still. So you are in like half cover at all times, just because of the way the blizzard works, unless you're within 5 feet.
I'm gonna try to make myself look scarce.
Okay.
We're gonna get up real close to Teleps, since he's been a little out front, and just want to stay right next to him.
I call Fletch back. Okay, Fletch.
Fletch comes bounding towards you guys, and at that point, everybody roll initiative.
Got a 17, by the way, on that stealth check.
Woo. 17? Okay. That will be highly relevant. Okay. So I can move us over to this. Coming out of the woods, you guys see what I shouldn't say woods. Coming out of like the snow and the cover is 4 giant or green dog-looking creatures. They're howling and screeching. They have goblin-like ears. They're kind of the size of a bull mastiff, a little bigger than Fletch is, and they're whooping and howling as they come, and they start to like stop, and they get close. And this large human-esque creature stands behind it, probably standing about 6'8", the black and blue cobalt skin covered, stretched thin as its bones to the body, and its head peels back into like almost like a spear-like scepter that comes out of the back, and it utters an abyssal towards you all, and chimes, and as if it's trying to make some kind of communication to you.
I believe I speak. Wait, no. Abyssal's the one I don't speak. Crap.
Okay. After no response, anybody else trying to respond and comment or anything else?
Unless it has anything to do with primordial, I don't get a word of it.
Okay. All right. So it you start to see that it's going to make it starts to make an aggressive motion as if it's going to finally unleash these creatures. Go ahead and give me who got higher than a 20.
I got a 23.
Okay, Casey got 23. Okay. Anything higher than a 15?
I got a 15.
You got a 15. Okay. All right. So that's Carl, and then Matt. What'd you get?
0.
Okay.
I rolled an out one. I have a -1 on initiative.
You are slow to that sword draw. I tell you.
Well, it
what.
goes last. It's that armor. It's heavy.
It's slow to the draw. Okay, so first at the draw, these creatures they start to, and they just start to lunge forward, and it activates that instinct, Casey, that you know so well as the you're about to get attacked. So you are at the top of the initiative. So what would you like to do?
Do I get a sense that they can see me or smell me?
They don't look like they're being aggressive at you.
Okay. If that is the case, then I'm just going to chill.
Okay. Are you doing any ready actions or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. So no ready actions. So next is going to be this larger creature that's standing behind them. It is about that cobalt blue 6'6" creature, and it casts basically a chunk of darkness right on top of all of you. So it is pitch black now in this magical zone, as that's the spell it casts. And next will be Carl, but Carl looks like he had to maybe take a step back for a second. So we'll give him a second. Okay. Carl, you're back. So what you missed is that they the big creature Vitrascaith went ghost mode for a minute. Then the big creature casted darkness on top of you guys.
Like that?
Yep.
Cool.
And that's its action. It's standing behind these creatures. It doesn't take any forward motion. Next is your turn, Carl.
All right. I am not happy about this situation being in the darkness as it is. So I say, Miles! I am blinded!
Then stay where you are.
Absolutely not! This is a ludicrous idea. So I run away, and but I don't know the direction that I run in. Would you like me to roll?
Yeah, roll a d6, and I'll move your character. Tell me what you get.
That's a 5.
Okay, so how many feet do you run? Do you run just out of the bubble, or do you keep running so you can stop?
Well, if I run and I suddenly can see, then I'll stop running.
Okay, so you're going to be right here when you stop running. Probably a little more than 5 feet out of the circle.
Okay. Would I assume that the large creature is the demon that we are hunting?
It could be any one of these creatures, but yes, you could take a large assumption based on its hideous visage, as it's dripping kind of blood off this cobalt body as well, that it's some kind of. It definitely looks demonesque to you.
All right. Well, then I will take aim at this demon-like creature, and I will take a shot.
Okay. Remember, you can't take the aim action unless you haven't moved.
Correct. I have lost my character sheet. I just need to pull it back up.
Gotta figure what those pluses are.
Boop, boop, boop. All right, and I will roll the longbow. That is a 9 to hit.
9 does not hit. It whizzes over his shoulder.
So if I look back at where the darkness was cast, does it look like a dome of blackness?
Yes, it looks like it's some magical kind of emanating dome.
Okay, well then, because I feel vulnerable out here, I'm not going to run back into it, but I'm going to run towards the periphery of it, using about 10 feet of movement to get so that I'm not directly in their sight.
Okay.
With my bonus action, I would like to hide.
Okay, sure. So you can take the bonus action to hide. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
That's also net 28.
Okay. Woohoo! 28. Yeah. Teleps goes, crouches and goes black. Okay. Next is going to be these hooting dog-like creatures as they advance forward. Okay. They advance forward. 2 of the dog-like creatures swing at our lovely faithful Fletch.
No!
That's not good. That's not good. Okie doke. So the first creature goes to swing at Fletch. Fletch backs up and ducks underneath reactively, and the second creature just clobbers the whole side of Fletch in a massive claw attack, and does 3 points of slashing damage to Fletch as he just clobbers the side of it. And then you see them just start to emanate. Well, I guess you don't see anything.
If I knew this was going out, I would be furious.
let me correct all this. So you hear the sound of Fletch, as it gets hit, and then you start to smell some kind of harsh smell emanating from these creatures as Matt, your character, decides to kind of get this noxious smell in his nose.
Well, I can actually see quite clearly what's going on.
You can. That is right.
That's right.
So you see these.
I was ready for my turn, but
no, good. I'm glad you brought it back up. I forgot I gave you that ability. So, right. So you can see these creatures, and they're standing, and they're starting to eke this like green noxious cloud off of their bodies, as if it's almost like some kind of viscous sweat that they just kind of shook off. And 2 of them make a swing at you.
But they don't get advantage.
They don't. What's your AC?
22.
Oh, 22. All right. And he misses twice as the first one goes to swing and misses his 2 claw attacks at you. And the second one comes across your plate mail, but can't seem to grab something that's out revealed enough to make the slash kind of cut in. And that is their turns. So next is Matt.
Does Fletch have a turn?
Fletch goes on Carl's turn as kind of like an NPC dog.
What would it cost me to just throw Fletch behind me, just whoop, or maybe with a foot, gently lift him and chuck him 10 or 15 feet?
I'll let you do it just because I didn't give Carl didn't move Fletch in the last turn. I'll let you kind of do it as like a free action this time because
All right,
he
I'm
took
gonna
the hit,
kind of
but he
just.
probably could have moved.
It's not gentle, but I'm chucking Fletch back away.
Because you grab him by like the scruff of the back, the neck, and you toss him back as you're getting ready to fight.
Pretty much.
And
And then
he
as a bonus
sinks into the
action, my sword and shield in my hand, and I'm gonna strike the earth and cast Earth Tremor.
Ooh.
And see how that goes. So Dex 13 saving throw.
Okay. So they fail.
They take 1d6 damage.
Okay. So the ground starts to shake. Right. You see the but the snow kind of puffs up in the air just a little bit, and they seem to lose balance and kind of trip for a second and kind of gain themselves as they all take a little bit of damage.
So in a 10-foot circle around me, it's now difficult terrain, and they all take 1 damage, and they're all knocked prone.
Okay. So they've all slipped they've kind of tripped over as they're grabbing themselves, hooting and howling.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Okie doke. Top of the round. It is Casey's turn.
Counting my steps.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Vitriscape pulls out the Fitbit.
Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah. At the risk of coming out of hiding, I'm gonna skirt around this piece of rock here.
Mhm.
And it's time for the breath of the dragon, as one does when one is a dragon.
Pop, pop. That's 15 feet, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to hit those first two.
Can you see in the darkness?
Well, yes, I should have asked to do a perception roll first to see if I can hear.
I'm gonna allow it because they are making a bunch of noise while they're attacking. So you can kind of get that you're going to get something when you do this.
Thanks, Matt.
I'd like it established for the record, she doesn't know where I am.
Well, you were making noise too.
Right.
You were shouting at Teleps. And then kicking
Right,
a
in
dog.
the middle of that group.
It does sound like you shouted at
he's in there
Teleps
somewhere.
and then kicked the dog, and then she's like, okay, well, if I hit the other guy, it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
If I hit Miles, whatever, I might enjoy it.
Okay, I have to make a like a dex roll, right?
Yeah, DC
Okay.
14 dex. And
Okay.
what actually ends up coming out this time is you see the little pin of light once again in between her horns, similar to how when she absorbs her energy and she plays with it. But it's this bright white light, and then webs of static electricity start sparking all around her horns, and then she puts her head down like she's headbutting something, and there's this like hyper beam effect.
Okay, so you see it as it as the dragon breath comes down. They failed their save, so go ahead and roll damage.
That'd be 8 lightning.
8 lightning. Oh, you used lightning. Okay, cool. You see it hit these creatures' skin, and they seem to be affected by it, but it doesn't seem to hit as hard as you think it should have for these creatures. And it kind of cackles across the skin, and it digs in a little bit because of the power that you have, but it seems to kind of like also kind of veer off a little bit of their skin, as if their skin's kind of blocking some of the damage.
Dang it. They're resistant to all the things. Okay, and then I'm gonna like just be like, okay now, and I'm just gonna creep back to where I was.
Okay. Next is going to be the larger creature's turn. So the larger creature it steps next to you and Matt, and then goes to make 2 like claw attacks at you.
Bring it.
And your plate mail seems to block it powerfully. But go ahead and make me a DC Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. I'm proficient in those. 16.
Okay. You do save from the thing as it starts to it basically takes its eyes and it widens its eyes to almost unnaturally disgusting look, and you feel magically almost affected, and then you kind of shake it off as you kind of almost feel like a moment of fatigue possibly coming over you, and you realize that this creature is trying to intimidate you with some magical ability of its sorts. And that is its turn. So next is Teleps.
Teleps, feeling very clever about his maneuver, will peek out over here and getting ready to fire his bow at the fellow that was over there. Shit! Miles, where is he? I cannot see anything.
He is right next to me. Stay out.
Where are you?
Just shoot. Close your eyes and shoot the little to my left. Just shoot a little to my left. Hear me, Teleps. Oh gosh, this is a terrible idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I close my eyes and I take a shot.
Okay, so take a shot at disadvantage, obviously, because you're basically blind fighting.
Now I'm assisting him by telling him where he should go and shouting. Right? Can
That
I
doesn't
give him
work.
advantage?
Just doesn't only it only works if you take the action made.
I would like to use one of my viewer rerolls.
Ooh, viewer rerolls. How nice. Very nice.
Graham, one of our viewers and fellow players, generously donated many bits this game. So
Well done, Graham. Thank you very much.
use one and I will reroll.
It's good. Maybe Matt should use it on initiative. Just say it.
Yeah, right. Thank you for the reminder. Our viewers who donate those bits, it's useful, but I forget about them because, again, the technological Luddite here. So,
So the reroll was 20. I don't know if that's also a disadvantage. If so, then it's 12.
It is. Okay, so 12. So you do hit.
Sweet.
It sinks into the side of the shoulder of the closest one as you're like, I don't know where I'm shooting, and then you shoot at it and gonk, it hits the side of the creature. As you hear its yelp.
No sneak attack since I'm at disadvantage, but 7 piercing.
7 piercing. Okay, excellent. So all right.
And with my cunning action, I will hide from what I assume is no one, but I will hide nonetheless.
Clearly, you killed it. So yeah, go ahead and make your hide check, and we'll move forward with these creatures. What'd you get for your hide?
Another 28. That's the natural 20.
Holy moly!
Hex.
Okay, so these creatures begin to surround Incendiar as he's glowing his bright glow.
Oh, reminder, are you going to move Fletch on your turn, Teleps?
Oh,
Before he gets surrounded again.
That's good. That's good. I was gonna let it go.
he's blind also, and I guess
You were talking, so I'll allow him to have been hearing where you are at if you want him to run towards you.
Okay, yeah, that would be fair. So yeah, I guess he'll come running at me.
Okay, so he'll run behind you. He doesn't take any attacks of opportunity because that was before he ran, just before I moved everything up forward. So going to these dog demon creatures. They go to make their beautiful attacks at the giant man in shining plate armor. The first set of attacks are misses. Jesus, yours is a 22, right, to hit?
Yeah.
Oh, good God. Okay. So they're all clawing at you're like raking at your legs and biting at you, and you're trying to block them. And because you've got 4 of these vicious creatures attacking you, one finally gets in between like the back knee plate of your armor and just crunches in for a vicious bite, and locks it in. Side note, I have to get an natural 20 to hit you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Can't dodge them all.
Yeah, can't dodge them all. And when you don't dodge them, it's real bad. So he is going to swing at you, or he's going to bite you, and he gets let's see. A whopping 3 damage
Woo!
as he bites into you. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
17.
17. Okay. These noxious clouds start to kind of come up in your nose, but you seem to kind of like be holding your breath a little bit as you can tell that this putrid smell can.
Is this by chance a harmful gas or vapor?
It is a harmful gas or vapor.
20 on the
You-
save. I get
you-
advantage against
okay.
harmful
You
gases and vapors.
you succeed still as it tries to seep into your eyes and seep in your mouth, and you're kind of like pushing it out with your flame, like the flames in your body, as you're trying to kind of keep it away from yourself and kind of burn it away. It is your turn.
I drop the shield and two-handed I attack the demon dude standing next to me.
Okay.
That is going to be terrible. Do you have to use if I use a view or reroll? Is that before or after I find out if it hits?
I'll let it be after.
13.
13 will not hit.
I'm re-rolling that one.
I only say that because I know that
And it's
eventually you
worse.
would know.
So
Okay.
I swing at him and I miss and I'm ticked. As a
Okay.
bonus action, my shield will magically appear in my hand. And I'm going to action surge. And I am actually going to take the dodge action.
Oh, okay. So I get disadvantage on you next round. Got it.
And I'm just going to scream at all of them in primordial, come at me, you dirty pieces of... Yeah.
Okay.
And go from there.
Okay. At this moment, at the very bottom of the round, Casey's the only one that can really see this because he's kind of hiding off behind Casey. You see the wizard friend of yours go, oh, Jesus. And he raises his hand and he motions his hand into some runic things. And then he takes like basically what looks like a bone and he chucks it through the rune and it goes, poof, and the darkness disappears from this bubble, revealing everything that's out in the, revealing this entire scene of all these dogs piling on top of Incendiar.
And me laughing.
And that's what he does. But you can tell he's super kind of far away still. Like he's at least 30 feet behind you, and he has no intention of like getting in on this. And it's top of the round for this. Casey, it's your turn.
I will say, well, that was helpful. Step forward and unload another breath attack.
Okay. Yeah, the three of them.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll work. Mm-hmm. So they make a dexterity roll, correct?
Yep.
They fail.
All right, 13 lightning.
13 lightning. Okay. All right. So yet again, you do see though that as it crackles and bounces off their skins, it starts to it does damage, but it's starting to not take hold as well as you want it to. The one that is closest to you, Casey, kind of sizzles, or this closest corner one kind of sizzles into dust as it this lightning seeks in and kind of eradicates its skin, and then followed by this one as well, who kind of sizzles as well.
Great.
And this creature looks not happy that you just hit it with a lightning bolt in the back. As this cobalt bloody creature kind of gazes behind it.
I'm gonna be like, hi, bye, and run away.
Hi, bye. Okay. Okay. Next is this creature's turn. This creature chants an abyssal towards Vitruscaith in something that sounds like a insult, as it always would in an abyssal, and then it proceeds to do 2 more attacks at the wonderful Incendiar, who is cackling in front of him like a madman.
He rolls at disadvantage.
First, he's going to look at you, though, and give you a horrid gaze with a visage as his blood seeps from his mouth and his eyes, open unnaturally wide. I'm going to Constitution saving.
Con.
God.
Nice. Con. I rolled an 8.
Okay. Do you wish to use a reroll?
Yeah, let's use a viewer reroll. How many do I have left? I've used one.
You have 3 more left.
Woo! Nat 20.
Nat 20 will work.
Ones or 20s. That's
Your
my
eyes,
style.
your eyes glow bright as you resist his gaze with your own kind of counter gaze and intimidation as it snarls at you, and then it tries to swipe at your face in kind of a defiance of your rudeness. And it hits you once for
At disadvantage?
hits you once for
Such good rolling.
5 damage as the claw sinks in and starts to kind of scrape into your plate a little bit across the top or collarbone. And then next is Carl's turn. Teleps, what are you doing?
Just to make sure I was clear, Matthew, you now have 2 rerolls left after that, using that one.
Right. Yeah, that was
Okay.
understood. Yeah, that's
Okay,
good. Yeah.
All right. So now I see the scene before me, and I see 2 of these things melt under the lightning of Itchescape. But I know that the big game, the one that I want to get, is behind my friend Miles. So I'm going to move over to the side a little bit and then take a clear shot at him.
Okay.
If it wasn't clear.
No,
that guy.
take it. Yeah, you got a good shot, so take a shot.
That is 19 to hit.
Okay, you are still in the hidden status, so do remember. So
Oh.
19 to hit. You do hit.
Well, then that is 14 piercing and 5 sneak attack. So a total of 19.
Nice, 19 piercing. Okay.
And Fletch comes running behind me, favoring his wounds.
Okay. You see the bow as you strike into his collarbone. It starts to sink, but it doesn't sink as deep as you want it to. As if some kind of force is trying to keep him alive. And Fletch wanders behind you, whimpering and licking his wounds. Next is the 2 hooting dogs, which one moves a little bit more over, and they start howling and hooting at you, and one hits you
Hey, congratulations.
for 9 damage as it sinks into the back
Shield.
of your sinks into the back. Shield works for, I think. Oh, okay. Still hits. It was a natural 20.
Oh, bummer. And I burned my shield too. Oh, well.
So it breaks through your shield. So you like try to cast shield to kind of block it off as you see this swipe coming in straight at back of your knee, and then you throw the shield up and it just kind of crashes through it. The dark energy kind of breaks through the
It
shield.
was natural 20 at disadvantage?
You rolled 2
Well,
20s.
I've seen Carl's rolled double 20s today too. All right.
He misses the other attack. So the shield works for the first one, and then he breaks through with magic to the second one, cracking your shield and raking across your back for 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay, and that is their turn. The other one missed as well. So it is now to Matt's turn. Matt, go ahead and roll me that Constitution saving throw for those gases that are trying to eke into your face.
16.
16. Okay, so you succeed as you're still trying to your body's trying to push back this noxious fume that's trying to climb into your nose. So go ahead, take a turn.
I am just euphoric about this whole thing. This is just awesome. And man, the dice you gave me all roll 1s, dude.
Sorry,
But I'm gonna take a second wind, and I'm gonna heal for 4 hit points.
Okay.
Mind you, that's with a +3 modifier. So, and then I'm just gonna I'm gonna attack the dude with me with the he's clashed. He's kind of holding on to me, and he doesn't know I'm not stuck in here with him. He's stuck in here with me.
Okay. Okay.
We're just gonna. Okay, that's a natural 18.
That'll
So
hit.
plus 5, 23 to hit.
23 hits.
And
A
that
lot as you come
is-
down right on its back.
Oh, I'm doing booming blade, I should say.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So that is 8 damage.
And this is on one of the dogs that's trying to attack you, correct? Or
No, this is on the demon.
Okay, this big guy.
caller.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
And he has the booming blade effect. So if he moves, yeah, he shoots. But that's all for now.
so how much damage did you do? Sorry, say that again.
I did 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Mhm.
And was that all thunder damage? What was that?
No, that's just with my sword. But he's now surrounded by an ominous sound, and if he moves, he takes thunder damage.
Okay. Okay. So you cut into him, and he looks at you, and hisses, and then you see the back of his head kind of comes into like a dagger type shape, and it just begins to like kind of grow at a pace. Casey, go ahead and take your turn.
Give me some deck saves.
Deck saves. Oh, that low. More dragon's breath.
Matthew's concerned about
Yep.
about daggers. Miles is just loving it.
Both of them fail.
That'll be 12 lightning.
12 lightning damage. Okay.
Yee.
As the lightning crackles against her skin again, and the mandrill that is behind this one sizzles in dust as your lightning crackles against its skin, reaches into its eyes, and then just
Excellent.
and the other guy's standing still. All right. Anything else?
Take 5 steps to the right.
Okay. Beep. Next is this creature's turn. So this creature, howlingly angry at you killing its companions. It takes its like the back spear of its head and this thing extends down and tries to stab at Matt or Incendiar. Does he still have disadvantage?
Nope.
Okay.
Plain old rolls.
Okay. He hits. And you are going to take 7 points, 11 points of piercing damage as it jabs into your plate, just between like the shoulder piece of your plate mail. And he gutters something in some menacing abyssal, and then smiles with this big toothy grin as he pulls it out and the blood's dripping over his mouth. And that's his action. So next would be Carl's turn.
All right. This time I will take a very careful aim at this creature.
Okay.
To give myself advantage, and I will attack with my longbow.
Okay.
I will use my remaining viewer reroll after they're rolling a 1 and a 2.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be a good option.
All right, 22 to hit.
22 to hit. Got it. So okay. So you definitely hit.
And then 11 piercing and 4 sneak for a total of 15 damage.
Nice. So another arrow sinks into his other shoulder just slightly. As you start hammering away at him. So all right. Next is if nothing else, next is going to be this dog's turn. So next is the dog's turn. So it's going to take its 2 swings as it hoots and howls at this vicious genasi, and it scrapes the back of its plate armor as he's trying to grab back and grab his plate mail. It scrapes the back of his armor, failing to get into that deep cut that was there. And then we move on to Incendiar's turn.
I'm just gonna stab him in the face. I'm laughing. Actually, I grab onto so he's impaled me. I grab him, and I'm just gonna impale him in a exciting little embrace of death. Then I'm gonna re-roll that with my 2 remaining. All right. And how's 23 to hit? 22 to hit.
22, it will hit.
Oh, ooh, this time it's for 4 damage. No, 5 damage. Woo! I rolled a 2 instead of a 1.
5 damage. All right.
I know.
Nice.
It's exciting, thrilling stuff.
So you hack into his chest just a little bit, and it scrapes the top of him, and he smiles with that grin still, and the blood still dripping from his speared horn.
And I'm bleeding as well, but I'm also just laughing and smiling. A little bit of blood coming down the cheek there, and that's it for me.
Okay, going to top of the round, Casey. Go ahead.
Boop back. Dex save for the big dude, please.
Dex save for the big dude. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. He succeeds.
Okay. I'm going to use one of my sorcery points to make that empowered.
Okay.
I'm going to reroll 2 of those.
Okay.
Dang it. Yeah, that's the same. Okay,
Wow.
so 9 points.
Okay.
Total.
9 points of lightning damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes another 9 points of lightning damage. And then the lightning crackles across his skin. He shakes it off. And upon his turn, he grins a toothy grin, and you see him grab you by like the plate mail almost, and he just goes, and you see kind of like these runes pop up as he says it, and your armor starts to just become insanely hot, as if somebody is heating the metal of your plate mail.
Sure.
Roll for so you let's see here. Do you have resistance to fire damage, correct?
Not unless it's something you gave me.
No, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you got a resistance.
Not yet is the answer
Okay.
to that.
So you take 7 points of fire damage from him casting the spell. And then he kind of like leans in and goes and shows you all of his teeth, as if he's anticipating the delicious meal afterwards that he's gonna have as he looks at you. That's his action. So next
My
is
turn?
Carl's turn.
Carl. So excited.
Again, I'm growing increasingly concerned over my friend in this close proximity to these creatures. He seems to be taking a lot more hits than I would expect. But I will aim very carefully and try to put this creature down. And I will roll with advantage 19.
19. Okay, you hit.
Right. And 12 piercing, 7 sneak, so 19 total. There's another
19 total.
arrow goes.
Okay. Okay, so you see another arrow sink into his chest, and it turns to you, and it's smiling with blood in its mouth, and it points to you as if like it's got some dirty claws, if it's to say you're next.
I do
as
not
it's
like
still-
that.
And next is the hooting dog. The hooting dog baying its master, woo, 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 and it swings and takes another 2 misses as the fighter is now kind of dancing in this hot armor and moving around. It's kind of swiping at your feet, and it's missing. As it's
On further analysis, though, it turns out I am fire resistant. Sorry about that.
okay. It's good. That's why I asked, because I was like, I'm pretty sure Denasi get it as an automatic, possibly. But
Yeah, that's my bad.
Okay. So next is Matt's turn. Matt, Incendiar, go ahead. What are you doing?
Oh, he's holding me tight and he's looking at me, but I'm looking at him just as excited with that same look of, oh boy, this is gonna be dinner. 18?
18
Or,
hits.
hold on, that may not be right. Hold on, gotta get the right page. 15 actually.
15. So 15 does not hit.
I'm gonna use my last reroll because why not? Woo! And it's 14 now, so I just miss.
Okay, so you're hacking away. You're like, ah! And you're like, out of your rage and anger, you're swinging out, and it's ducking and dodging as it's smiling at its ability to incur this hot rage within you. And your turn ends. It's now.
And I'm yelling at him in Primordial. He's saying stuff in Abyssal. I'm yelling at him in Primordial. Stuff about his mother or lack of one. I try to hurt him emotionally. You grew up on the streets without a father figure.
So he takes a sad look at you like, really, that hurt, man. And then go ahead.
How does
Go
this mean
ahead.
primordial?
No, go ahead, Casey. Go ahead.
I'm going to blow an entire another second level spell slot. And I'll just shake my head and say, well, if it isn't broke, you shouldn't fix it. And again, Dex save for the big guy.
Okie doke. Dex save. He makes a 12 on his Dex save.
That does not succeed. And then I will blow another sorcery point to empower that again.
Okay. Hot. It's going to be hot tonight.
Come on.
Go grease lightning.
Ugh. All right. Well, it's better anyways. 9 points of acid damage.
No, 9 points of acid damage. Let's see what he brings up. 9 points of acid damage. As you see the acid spray on him, he howls, and then looks at you with such anger as the acid kind of starts to burn into his skin. I'm telling you, if I heard that in the middle of the night, I would be terrified. Okay, so it sinks into him, and he's howling at you. Is that your turn?
Yeah, it'll be me.
Okay, so he takes a smile, and with just like a tap of your armor, he ignites it again, doing 5 points of fire damage.
Is that after my
I'm just telling you what it is. I tell you, if you want, if you're resistant, you just have that.
And is it rounded down or up?
It's rounded down.
Okay. So 5 damage is 2 when rounded.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So he then, seeing that you're still up, he makes his spear swing at you, as his head kind of juts out forward. He does. He just misses. You kind of duck out of the way as it comes through, and it's just like it hits the side of your plate mail at the top corner, and you're like, "Oh wow, I just missed that." As he smiles that toothy grin yet again at you. And then that is his turn. Next is Carl's turn, or Tlep's.
Again, just looking incredulously at this creature who has endured so many blows. I will take, again, careful aim. This time, surely I'm going to hit some vital piece of this creature's anatomy. And take aim and roll 23.
That'll hit. Another arrow is going to sink into his shoulder.
It's 12 piercing and 9 sneak for 21 damage.
21 damage, holy moly, right? So you see it kind of shinks into the top part, like where his heart would be, as if you're trying to pierce something, and it is at this moment you realize this creature must be heartless, as he stands up and and coughs up some blood out of his mouth and spits it all over his hot weathered friend, and it stands up, growling.
I would just remark, it is impossible to kill this creature!
The hooting, howling dog responds with a "Ooh, oh!" and swings twice more at your dyingly injured friend. And yet again, he fends it off with the shield. As it's growling and gnawing. At this point, it's doing its desperate, it wants to eat this almost dead creature that it can smell the death, on its edge. As it's angry and has this goal in mind. And then it is now Incendiar's turn.
Just God, like the idea that he can't be killed just fills him such excitement. It's just like such a thrill. But I'm gonna come down again with booming blade. Gosh, for a 13.
13 does not hit.
Nope.
You clack it, but his armor, his skin just kind of shugs off the blade as you didn't hit deep enough.
And I'm gonna say it to him in primordial. One of these two is gonna kill you. I just have to hold you here. I love it. Let's see who succumbs first. And that's it just a joyful look at the idea who will succumb first.
It's standing at the top of the round is Vitruscaith.
It's like a fire hose, but instead of water, it's acid.
Okay. So you shooting it off again?
Yep.
Okay. He
Is it
rolls a
prestidigitating between your
14 for
horns?
he rolls 14 for his deck save.
That does save.
Okay.
So 5 points of acid damage.
5 points acid damage. Oh man. So you get it like as he's smiling and grinning, you get it like into his mouth. His jaw starts to burn away. And he's like, and he's coughing up blood and acid spitting out of his mouth. And he's standing there and he's smiling as he's holding on for dear life to this hot friend of his that he's insisting shall die before he does. And Abyssal. He is on his last limb and last leg. And it is now his turn. He taps you yet again with a small nail, and you take. Let's see, you take 5 points of fire damage. I can't roll any of the guys. Oh my god, that should not be so bad. It is though. It is what it is. I've been rolling horrible.
Well,
damage.
I've had the same luck.
Okay.
These are just throwing slaps at each other while everything's going on around them.
So he smiles at you, and then the spear comes down at you to try to make that vicious attack. Oh my god! Right, and so in that last feat of smile, you're smiling back at him in that rage of excitement, and he comes down, and you just literally in a heroic style just hold your shield up, and it dink hits the right middle of his shield as he rolls a natural 1. And howls at you as it chips off part of its speared headpiece that it has that kind of extends from its skull. And then that is its round. Next is Carl.
Again, now realizing there is no heart in that carapace, I aim a little bit higher and try to get his juicy brain juices.
Okay, make that roll.
22 to hit.
Hot mama. Okay.
7 piercing, 7 sneak, 14 total.
How do you want to do it?
Well, as I said, I take a careful aim, and this one goes straight into his skull and right out the other end, blowing out either his brain or his dagger or whatever's up there.
Yeah, the chunks of skull and brain splatter into the snow behind him as he then kind of falls and starts to disintegrate into this massive and dirty body worth of stuff, leaving nothing but like talons and teeth and what non skin and flesh that it had. You're successfully killed that creature. Casey, you're up. You still have this hooting dog that's behind. Or sorry, no, correct myself. I skipped a couple people. I went from creature. My bad. So it's the dog's turn. So the dog, hooting and howling, is super upset, and it realizes that its master is dead. So it begins to run. Go ahead and make an attack of opportunity, Incendiar.
Kill it. 9.
You miss. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Let's see how far we can run because they are dog-like creatures. Okay, so actually, slow-ass dog-like creatures. Okay, so you see it's hauling tail, at about 40 feet as it's woo, and it's like it's running as fast as it can in the opposite direction, in pure fear of you killing its master. And now it is Matt's turn.
Firebolt. Oh no, you don't. You're mine.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Holy moly.
Woo.
Okay, what do you roll?
Watch, I'll roll a 1. 3 for a total of 6 damage on the nat 20.
That'll do. So it goes down. You clip it in the back, and it hits and crumbles, and then kind of like falls down in a heaping mass, and then starts to kind of disintegrate into almost like ooze and dirt and dust and grime. And at that moment, you have your friend running out of the woods, going, "Ah! Don't let him! get away! And like, he's running to grab the pieces before they disintegrate off of the body.
So I chuck the firebolt and I'm spinning, and the lines on my body are just burning hot and bright. And I'm actually laughing, and light is coming out of my mouth and my eyes. And it's just like this euphoric. And then I fall down on the ground on my back, not quite unconscious, but chuckling softly and just gone.
Okay. So, all right. That's it. As he's starting to pick up these teeth and nails and body parts that he can gather before it starts to disintegrate, trying to seal it off with some kind of magic that he's like holding out in his hands. Bitchscaith, what are you doing?
Is it everything's dead, right?
Everything is dead.
Then I will go walk up to Miles and just gently kick his boot with my boot. He's fine.
I was running like full speed. It's like Miles, and then he starts laughing. As I pull up short. I'm like,
that was great. I'm just gonna lay here for a while.
Okay. As you guys are starting to look at some things in the body, you do see in the mass, there is this ornate box with runed etching on the edges of it that kind of are sitting where this creature kind of disintegrated into a pool of black muck that is being picked through by the goblin, who seems to care not much about the box at all.
Can I grab that box?
Yep.
I do that.
Okay, so you grab the box. You grab the box up. It's got a little lock on it. And he looks at you guys and goes, "Well, wonderful. Right then. Good. Got what I needed. All right then. Well, I guess I can pop the card on and we can head that way."
So the
absolutely.
the dagger thing on him, did the demon like melt away, or is he still there?
Part of it, but the dagger part got grabbed by this goblin.
Okay, so the rest is unusable.
To a degree, right? The goblin's been collecting all pieces that can seem to be usable by this creature.
All right.
I'm gonna walk over to Teleps and hand him the box and say, "Open it."
What makes you think that I can open this? And even if I could, why would I? This is not our property. This is this woman in the crossroads.
The goblin looks up and says, "She's not in the crossroads. She was going through the crossroads with her brother."
I miss crazies. Walk back.
Wait.
Teleps now has the
Whoa,
box.
whoa. She was going to the crossroads with her brother.
Right? Yeah.
When was this?
I don't know, about 3 or 4 days ago.
What were their names?
Don't you really ask?
Miles, lots of people have brothers.
Which way was they heading? Was they heading this way, or were they heading towards Goldsport?
Nah, they had said they come from Snowberry and they were going to Goldsport, meet some friends.
Fuckers!
Lots of people have brothers and sisters. You never know.
Do you
It
know?
was a good point.
Are they friends of yours?
No.
Not yet, but we'd love to further meet their acquaintance.
Let me take a look at that box.
Yeah, you got it. So, the box is it's got like runes on the etchings. Some of the runes you can make out, some of them you can't. They all look to be in some language that you kind of understand a little bit of. And it's like to open some gibberish that you don't understand, right? Speak the words, gibberish you can't understand, and then kind of trails off in some other contextual stuff that you can't get out of a reference, but you think that it's some kind of arcane lock of some sort.
looking at it, does there any arcane knowledge come to mind, having studied that kind of thing?
Sure, roll Arcana.
20.
Yeah, it's an arcane lock. You knew that the spell was used a lot by schools or studies, and even your tutor taught you that basically arcane locks are something that knock is a ability. You either break the object if you can, but if it's a magical object, you probably can't break it, so you have to use the knock spell to open it, or open it however they allow it to be opened.
Yeah, it's an arcane lock. Difficult, that one.
Is there a mundane lock also, or is it just an arcane lock?
It's just an arcane lock, it looks like. It does have like a mundane looking lock on it, but you can tell that it's part of the runic etching, so it looks like it's part of the arcane lock that seals it.
Well, I look forward to reuniting this box with its owner.
The goblin looks up from his collections and goes, "Well, you don't want to look inside?
Very
Might be
much.
something that you want.
I would like to look inside. Yes.
And just open it then."
That is
It has an
novel
arcane
idea.
lock on it. Unless you want to open it, there it is.
By the way, does Miles have any like of his own blood on him that's
Oh,
on the armor
plenty.
still and not like
Yeah.
tainted by demon blood?
Yeah, there's probably
Is
plenty
it-
of blood that he's covered in it.
I'm just very stealthily going to be behind him, like
Is that like, are you straight up trying to hide that? Is that a stealth check?
I'm kind of stealthing, yeah.
Okay, so roll a stealth check, and then if you want to roll, it'll be against your passive perception. It's against your passive
Full
perception.
net. Passive perception?
Yeah, 'cause you're not- you're
My
not really
passive
certain.
perception's 12.
You're not
I just
looking
rolled a
for it.
20.
I got a 12.
All right, so I'm going to favor it, and for role play, she gets away with it.
I'm like getting closer, like no, I can't.
So
I want to know what I taste like.
the guy pulls out like a small chime, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll hold it over here, and I'll open it for you." And then the lock pops open.
I opens the box.
And inside the box, you see basically like a box of darkness. Like it's like dark. Like there's supernaturally, like almost like it's a hole.
Can I see through the darkness, or is it a hole? Is it darkness, or is it a hole? He's falling
Good
into
question.
a hole.
You stumped him.
It's that deep.
He's
I'm
back.
just kidding. I'm back. No, you can't see through the darkness. It's basically what it is it's some kind of a hole of some sort. So it's not that you can't see, it's just some kind of dimensional space.
I reach in.
Okay. And you pull out you start to pull it out, and then you kind of like set the box on the ground because you keep pulling it out, and it is a longbow that is etched with runic etchings. And all that you can make out of it is that this forgotten bow is all that you make out in the runic etchings, but it's the same weird language that the box is lined in that you can kind of partially read as a cipher.
I think I should have paid closer attention in school. Everything has this writing on it that I kind of understand, but kind of mostly don't. This is very frustrating.
As you like mention that, the goblin looks down and goes, "You can read that?"
There are parts that I can read. This clearly says a forgotten bow.
Yeah. Where'd you learn how to read that? That's a fancy school you go to.
Do not know. Or do I know?
You don't.
No. Okay, I do not know.
He kind of looks over and says, "Have you always been able to read that?"
I have just now encountered this bow. How could I know whether or not I could read it before?
Matt, so incendiary roll at advantage. Roll me a history check at advantage on something that you're going to notice in this conversation with Phillips.
8.
Okay. Okay. So something's dawning on something is dawning on you that Teleps has always said stuff that seems weird. Not that you know any language or anything, but Teleps has always had words in his language that you think are made up, but you just thought it was Teleps being a goob. But he does say words occasionally that he doesn't know or doesn't seem to have any effect. Like he seems to speak gibberish occasionally as a joke. Like he says a word that's like almost like that, like, oh yeah, that thing over there, and the puka, and you're like, what's a, you kind of like get it from context, and it's starting to jog your memory that maybe Teleps does speak a second language. He doesn't realize he speaks. Like maybe his parents spoke it or something.
I always assumed it was just him trying to use fancy words like, hey, how about the photosynthesis today? Like he doesn't know what they mean. He just wants to sound fancy in front of all of his friends.
Right, but you don't know what they mean either. That's the problem, right? So
Sure.
it's more like, hey, about that jalapeno, and you're like, I don't know what a jalapeno is, but I don't think that's the right thing. So Teleps, you see this, and you don't realize you can speak it, but you can to a degree. Not speak it per se, but read it. And
So-
the
Okay.
goblin looks at you and says, can you speak it?
Can I? Clearly, I cannot. I can. This is the words in my tongue. This is a forgotten bow, but that is all I know. What is this language? What do you know of it?
Well, it's Netherese, which is like an ancient like race of wizards and humans that spoke a totally different language and lived on floating islands and stuff. It's weird that you can speak it. And he's like, did you see the rune that I had on my my cart?
Oh, yes, the arcane one. Yes, I saw that.
So you can read that though.
Can you? Yeah. Does not everyone read this?
I mean, no, like I doubt she can even read it. And pointing to Vitruscaith, and she's been around forever, and she's,
Yeah, but I mean, technically, I've lived most of my life on another world, so it's.
He looks over at his fairy dragon, and his fairy dragon goes, I told you she smelled different. And he's like, yeah, you're not saying you're from a beer, are you?
That's a very good guess. I
Well,
am.
there's only one that I know of that's got your kind on it.
Truly. There must be
It-
more.
World-wise. All right, you're a unique bunch. He looks down at his dragon friend. His dragon friend's like, I told you she smelled different. Oh, they smell different. And he's like, okay, well, yeah, we should get you to Goldsport then. I've got some business there. I'm doing a delivery, and then I can drop you off if you want to, caravan with me, and we'll kind of go from there if that's all right with you.
Sounds wonderful. And I'll start walking.
Okay. And he throws the cart up and it explodes into a cart. It's a small cart it's a goblin's cart, so it's it's smaller, probably about the same size as yours, but it can hold a small wares shop in it. Kind of like a TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside. And he kind of hops in his magnificent wares driver's seat, and then throws down what looks like a small figurine that explodes into a goat. And it's nicely mounted to the cart, and he goes, all right then, go down there, Clipper. And they this goat starts to carry off with this cart as he starts to head his way out. He says, I'll take you to your cart, and then we can go from there, if that's all right with you.
I hold my hand out to Miles and say, "Are you right, Miles?"
I finally feel like myself since this whole thing started.
Half dead?
No, finally alive.
And on that note, we'll end there for the evening. So, I appreciate all you guys that are watching us. All you folks that are tuning in. Stay tuned for next week to find out what's going on with this goblin and our wonderful party group, and maybe we can figure out a little bit more about these twins and why Teleps can speak these unique languages. Until next time, bye-bye.
Before we leave, just want to say bye to everyone. My name's Carl. You can find me on this channel also on Saturday mornings where we play a Half-Rate Heroes game. Casey and I play that game together. You can also find me Friday nights on Sabric's channel where we play a Planescape game. That's also me and Casey. And I'll turn it over to Matt.
Okay, my name's Matt. You can find me on Twitter at MatthewKenRBM. But more importantly, you guys need to get onto our stream and give me bits because I cannot roll for crap. And I have like almost 0 hit points left. And you people are the only thing keeping me alive. So I need your support. But beyond that, thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed the show. Who knows what's going to happen next week? Maybe someone will die. Maybe they won't. It's really up to you guys, apparently. And with that, I'll pass over to Casey.
Hi, I'm Casey. I do things and I'm in places. Like Carl said. That's about it.
And you can find me on Cal McHale at Twitter at Cal McHale. So till then, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.